What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Underwater Fly Zone podcast. We are officially back. I told you guys we would do this episode about 2-3 weeks ago. Life got really busy. We had a bunch of pop-ups, but we are back here today for part 2 of the Q&A with myself, Foster Huggins.
Macy Huggins.
And Macy Huggins, my wife, in the building as well to finish up the Q&A. Last time we got to probably 4 questions, and then it got too long, and our dog was here, and it was a whole thing. So this time we're locked in. Mavericks back at the apartment, and we are ready to go for the rest of these questions. You ready to get into it?
Yep. What did we leave off on?
Well, last time we had a couple questions. I can't even.
Is it college?
There was one about college from Anna. Shout out Anna. And there was one about. We did leave off with Grace Batch, her question. We're hopping right into this. No real intro.
Yeah, because we already talked about everything, recap.
Just a small life update, though. What's happened in the past 2-3 weeks?
So much. Downtown days, a bunch of pop-up events. And we're about to go to Destin this weekend. It's Thursday right now. So the whole of July is going to be, no pop-ups, just, chill. So I'm very excited to get to be with you and my husband.
Well, not chill, but no pop-up.
Well, for me, it'll be chill.
Yeah.
But, and then in August, we'll start back up with pop-ups and all that stuff. But, yeah, very excited about it going to Destin.
Yeah, can't wait. We're leaving Saturday. Today's Thursday. This drops hopefully on Friday, which is tomorrow. But, yeah, July, no pop-ups. We're taking a break. But we're not taking a break for real because we're going to be doing a bunch of online stuff. So be looking out for that. Pop-ups take up a lot of time, but man, it's been great.
Oh yeah.
That actually brings us to our first question. Grace Batch, what's your favorite and most rewarding part about owning and operating the Underwater Fly Zone? I can answer that first.
Yeah, you want to go?
It's the people. The people we meet. Mm-hmm. There's so many different pockets of people that we've interacted with. We got our people up in Maryville. Every time we do an event up in Maryville, we see all of our Maryville supporters. A lot of them are graduating. So I was thinking about that today. I'm like, man, a lot of them won't be there next semester when we go up to Maryville. Yeah. But anyways, we have our Maryville people we always see. We have our Kansas City, down in the city people we always see. Then the sneaker event people we see. Then the Lawrence, Kansas people. The Columbia people.
Our high school people, when we do go to our high school.
Exactly, yeah, here in Raymore. Oh, shout out to the group. I think we talked about them last time, but there's been this group. We did a lot of local events here in Raymore, at least some area, the past couple months. There's this group of kids. They're not really kids. They're high school age, but they're all homeschooled, and they always show up. They don't have a group name, obviously, but you know who you are. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I'm gonna miss seeing them, actually. Won't see them a lot, but it's the people. And then you go to Arkansas. We have our Arkansas people. We're starting to build a community in Dallas. It's the people. It truly is. And even when we went out to Chicago, Anna drove an hour down. We met one of, if not our biggest supporter that lives in Wisconsin. We got to meet her in person in Chicago. It's just incredible how many people this has been able to reach. And I think pop-ups is the most rewarding part for me, just being able to interact with people in person. And one story I want to say, I feel like I've talked the whole 5 minutes of this podcast, so I want to stop soon. But one story I want to say, it's something I've just been thinking about, and I was talking to Jack Fields about this, is our first ever customer at a pop-up. It was at the River Market. It was a homeless man. He came up in his wheelchair, and he grabbed a hat, and he was like, I like this hat. There's literally a video of it. He was like, I like this hat. And I was like, man, for real? You like it? And he's like, yeah, how much is it? And I was like, it's $25. And he was like, I don't got any money. And then I just instantly, out of reaction, I was like, it's all good. Just take it. Just take it. Our first ever customer, first ever pop-up was this guy. And I just told him to take it because, he obviously didn't have the money for it. And he obviously really loved the message on it. It just says, your life is worth living, real big on the hat. So he took it. We got a picture with him. And ever since then, it's been up. God has been working in our movement through pop-ups, and it's been incredible. And I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, in a way, I almost feel like maybe, in a way, God might have gave us that man as our first customer to test us. He's like, all right, Foster, you've always said you're here to make an impact. But now here's a here's a
opportunity.
Yeah, here's an opportunity to show your heart. Are you really here to make an impact, or are you just here trying to make a bunch of money and, you know, post pictures on Instagram and look cool? Exactly. So I feel like in a way that might have been God testing my heart. And I didn't think of it in that moment. In that moment, I just did what I instinctively do, which is try to, you know, uplift people. This dude wanted the hat, let's uplift him. And it's been, like I said, it's been up ever since. So it's just crazy, like, how God's blessed this movement. And I think being faithful to the plan from day one, from customer one, is really what's helped us in that area. So yeah, it's really rewarding owning this brand for sure, and the podcast. And I actually have a lot more I wanted to say about this question, but I want to give you a chance to say your answer first.
So mine is kind of like the people, but more like in particular, it's the stories that we have heard from these people, especially like saying just how much God through us has made an impact in these people's lives. And to me, that's the most rewarding part, is because we're a part of, and that's why I think that your friends are so involved and they want to do it for free, because it's like, this is worth more than what money can ever give you. Yeah. And so I just think that it's so awesome to be a part of something that really is making a difference. And hearing these stories of people, like parents and friends of like lost loved ones, and just talking about how this like either YouTube video or this message has very much helped them in a time of life that was not the best, and just opening up to us about this, and they're a complete stranger, is something that is definitely worth more than what any amount of money could ever like get us. And so I think that's also what motivates us more and more, is because of the impact. So definitely the people, but like to further into it, it's the stories that we have heard.
Is there any specific story that comes to your mind? Because there's a bunch that come to my mind, but it's crazy because there's so many people at these pop-ups. You'll hear stories that I'll never hear, and I'll hear stories that you'll never hear. And then Jack Fields, Carson, will hear stories that neither of us will ever hear. It's just crazy. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's been helping us, literally volunteering their time. They don't ask for money. I offer. I'm like, hey, I'll pay you to be here. Like, you're helping us work this event. Like, and they're like, no, we're not taking anything. I'm like, all right, at least take a free shirt. They Venmo me for the shirt behind my back. I'm like, y'all are crazy, man. So shout out to Carson, shout out to Jack Fields, shout out to Jack Green, shout out to Michael Thomas, shout out to Caitlin McConville, shout out to Caleb Lockard, Drew Thompson, my cousin, came down last weekend, and anybody I'm forgetting.
Brady.
Cody Brooks.
Yeah.
Shout out Cody Brooks. He was there for KC Fashion Week, volunteered his time. Brady Simpson, and anybody I'm forgetting that's been there. Shout out to Zane Weston too. He does his own thing, but a lot of times at pop-ups when it's just me there, I'll go run off to talk to somebody at the table, and I'll say, "Hey Zane, can you hold my table down?" He's gotten some shirts passed out as well. So shout out to all you guys. And what specific story though? Any that come to mind?
The one would be the most recent one, which was, so her name is Gracie.
Yep.
And she is honestly one of our really good friends. We did not know her before this, but so unfortunately her mom has committed suicide, and she actually went to Northwest, which is the college we went to. We never talked to her, like we did not know her, honestly. And then after that happened, she DM'd us both and wanted to tell us, kind of just open up about it and say that she really loved this message, especially since what happened to her family. And we go to church. It's called Paradigm with Abundant Life. And so we were like, let's go to church together and get dinner before and just talk to her. So we met up with her on a Tuesday night. She told us pretty much the whole story and how she's dealing with everything, and kind of just hearing about her in general, and just to kind of create a friendship. And so we've been hanging out ever since, trying to at least, and talking and swiping up on her stories, just telling her how much, like, how awesome she is and how strong she is. And that to me is probably the most impacting one there's so many, honestly, but it's just someone at our age, especially, and her like reaching out to us and saying that that's made a movement to her life, even though she doesn't even know us. I think that was one that really stuck with me, and especially how, kind of how early it happened, and then how like quickly she wanted to reach out to us. I think it was still so fresh that everything was kind of like still emotional. That one really honestly took a toll on me, because obviously we hear so many stories, and Foster has gone through it. I fortunately have not gone through it, but just hearing all of the sadness and things that happen to people in this world, it is a lot to bear. But God says in the Bible that it's like cast all of our anxieties onto him, like lay it all at his feet. And so I have to remind myself, like, I'm not the one holding this burden. Give it to God, pray for them, and kind of just let it go at his feet. And that's been something to kind of tackle on with this. It's like we do such a great movement, but then there's another side of it with mental health. You hear so much. It's very depressing at times, and it is a weight on you. And it's like, okay, they're trusting me to say all of this, or they're trusting me to listen to all of this. So it's like, I want to make sure that I have the wisdom to say, kind of, to know what to say to them. And it's just a lot hearing it, because we're all imperfect. Mm-hmm. So that's been hard, especially since I thankfully have not gone through it, but Foster's been helping me a lot with kind of what to do. And you also said, it's like sometimes people don't want you to tell them like advice. Sometimes they just want you to listen to them. So I've been making sure to honestly just let them pour out their heart and try and ask God for wisdom to how can I give them life and in the darkness.
For sure.
So
that was a unique situation there, because that wasn't at a pop-up. That was just, we go to our Instagram and we have a request, and it's Gracie putting us in a group chat saying she's heard of us and she told us what happened, and instantly we were like, let's take her to dinner. Like, that's what, and a lot of people at pop-ups they'll always say, so where's the money for this go? And I'm like, first of all, that's a personal question. like back up a little bit. Sometimes I'll get a little like, I don't know, I need to check myself at times, so I'll get a little offended. And I'm like, bro, they're just curious, we are putting out a positive message. Like, they're probably just curious as to what we're doing. But yeah, that's the stuff people don't see, and you don't hear about it until we bring it up on a podcast or something. But because we're not going to put, one thing that we will never do is use these situations or these things that we do for clout or anything like that, or to be like, oh, look at us doing this great stuff, because we're just doing what God's called us to do, So when she reached out, we instantly, let's take her to dinner. Want to go to church with us? Turns out we went to the same church, so she came to church with us on Tuesday night. We gave her a free hoodie too. That's like little things like that. It's like, where's the money go? Right there, and it's it's crazy, because like the first time we met her to now, it's like, I remember the first time we met her, it was like cool, it was a really great night, but like it's only been like a month, and I feel like she's like a little sister to me. I told Macy the other day, I was like, I feel weirdly protective over Gracie. Like, I don't know why.
She's the same age.
I'm like, I don't know this chick. She literally is my same age, but I'm like, I just really wish the best for her, and I'm glad we've been able to make that connection. And it really is like, and then she introduced us to her brothers and her sister, and I'm like, they feel like siblings to me too. Like, I'm like, I just want the best for these people,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's very rewarding, that community we've been able to build. And
that's definitely the most rewarding part.
Yeah, there was more I wanted to say with Gracie, but I think I'm gonna. It's too soon right now, but I do want to get her on the podcast someday if she would ever be open to that. But it was also what you were saying. It's kind of difficult to talk to people sometimes, because the first time we met with her, it was like 2 weeks after she lost her mom to suicide. Like, that is a very real thing, And and some people, you might go meet with somebody wanting, like, thinking that this is going to be a interaction that's going to help me heal. And then next thing you know, the person you're talking with makes it all about them. So that's what I really tell Macy. I'm like, this is nothing about us. Like,
yeah,
I can't even relate my story to her.
yeah.
I could try, but it's mainly about just listening to her, letting her pour out the emotion. And then I try to relate my story in a way just so she doesn't feel alone, you know, even though her situation, gosh, that I just heartbreaks for her and her family, but very, 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 I know she won't care about us talking about this either because she's posted about it and stuff. So we've been praying for them, but I got a story I wanted to share, like an interaction.
This is such a long.
And this is one question
Yeah.
of many more to go. So we might have to do a part 3 already, but, guy named Virgil Bryant, he wouldn't care about me telling this story either. It was last year's downtown days. On the Saturday, I signed up for another pop-up. So downtown days is going on in Lee Summit, but I was over in downtown Kansas City at Union Station for a different pop-up, and it was a flop of a pop-up. Like, we sold to one family, but this family just happened to have like 15 people in the family. And on the way in, the dad saw a guy wearing one of our Your Life is Worth Living shirts, so he brought his kids to our table, and he saw a shirt that says Finish Your Race. It's one of our Finish Your Race shirts. If you saw those, we used to have them. They're all sold out now, but our shirt said Finish Your Race. And he looks up at me, big guy. He's much bigger than me. Looks up at me with tears in his eyes, and he's like, I need this shirt right here. He's like, 2 weeks ago, no, it wasn't 2 weeks ago. He said, it was like 1 week. I can't remember. There's been a lot of interactions, but he looked at us with tears in his eyes. He said, a week ago, my son was murdered for no reason. Like, just like random murder. And he said, 2 days ago was his funeral, and I spoke at it. And at his funeral, I felt like I finished my race. And,
That just gave me chills.
yeah, it was like, I'm just like, dang. And we like, I like go up and hug this huge man, and he's crying, and he was like, man, everybody needs to hear about this movement, about this brand. And there's a video on our Instagram of him talking because he was like, man, I wish I could just tell the world how much this brand means to me. And I was like, you can try, you know, I can see, I'll take a video you talk about it. So we took a video of him for the vlog. He was just saying how much the brand meant to him. But yeah, it's just those crazy interactions. And those are just two of
so
honestly thousands.
Yeah.
Like,
and
really thousands.
I don't even know, probably a fourth of it, because obviously it's like a lot of it is in the Instagram, and Gracie just DM'd both of our accounts. So
Yeah.
I don't even know all that you have heard.
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing, you know. And I one more thing. This is the one more thing I wanted to say when it comes to what's your favorite and most rewarding part about owning and operating the Underwater Fly Zone. Like, telling these stories, I really know we're making an impact. You know, I really know that when I go and speak at a school, I know I'm making an impact when I do that. Because at downtown days, how many people came through saying, hey, I remember you when you came to whatever school and did your presentation, man. Like, this one girl at downtown days said, she was like, I go to bed every night thinking about that night, about how impactful it was. I'm like,
that's awesome.
I'm like, you're either lying to me or something, because I still feel like I'm a work in progress when it comes to speaking. But I know we're making an impact. I know we're doing great things, and we have all this merch, and we've moved probably over like 5,000 pieces this year already, and we're only halfway through the year. So it's just a lot of success. All glory to God. We've seen a lot of success. And what's really rewarding about that is I think back to the nights 4 years ago when my friends would say, hey, Foster, you want to come to the pool with us and watch the basketball game? Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a good time. You should come. And I'd say, sorry, man, I can't. I got to do a podcast episode. And they'd be like, podcast episode? I'd be like, yeah, man, I can't. And then they're probably like, this dude's skipping out on us to make a podcast that's going to reach like 20 people. Because back then we'd only reach like 20, 30 people. And there'd be other nights, come on, bro, let's go out. I know it's Saturday, bro. Come on, let's go ride birds downtown Kansas City or just something like that. And I'd say, I can't, bro. I got to go drop 10 orders off, or I can't. I got to fold all these shirts.
And you used to edit a lot.
Yeah, and back then I was like gosh, I'm sacrificing a lot of time with my friends and a lot of time with people I care about. And yeah, editing and just 24/7 work. And I'm just like, I'm sacrificing so much for this. I still do, but back then I was sacrificing for something that wasn't anything, you know? And it's really rewarding to be here in this moment now and look up and be like, wow, we're really making the difference that I set out to make when I first made this. Like, everything that I used to dream about is literally happening right now, and I'm literally in a weird season and weird mindset right now where everything I set out to accomplish is literally happening before my eyes. So I need to start setting much bigger goals, you know what I'm saying? Like,
speaking events,
even things like I never thought when I started this podcast, never did I think it would like even close to be considered a full-time job one day. Like, I'm really in that moment where it's like, dude, I could do this as my career. Like, I can make an impact every day as my career.
Insane.
And also it's just incredible, dude. Like, I'm just in a weird space right now mentally that I've never been. Because all my big goals of selling all this merch and building the podcast and speaking at schools, it's all happening right now. So it's like, I got to set bigger goals now. And it's, anyways, just incredibly blessed and incredibly grateful for God for blessing this and for you guys for supporting this. Because, dude, it didn't just happen. And I feel like sometimes it's easy to go on Instagram and see us at a speaking event and think, oh, yeah, that's cool. It just, you don't know the months it took to book that gig, get approved, get the presentation approved, I'll do them for free, but I try to make something from it too. Cause trying to make this into like a business at the end of the day. Like, try to get financials worked out, got business insurance, this. So many hoops. Like, you see the Instagram posts, you don't see the months it took to get it booked, let alone the years it took to even be in a position where they'd consider you to be booked. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy, y'all. Like,
I want to talk about, like, in another episode, maybe with, like, faith and all that stuff, like the behind the scenes of being a business owner, because we were talking like, oh my gosh, pop-ups are a lot of work, like getting everything, like taking everything upstairs, packing it into the car, taking multiple trips, setting everything up, you especially, but setting everything up, making sure it looks all great.
Don't let her say that. She does just as much.
I know, I haven't recently though because of our dog Maverick, but
she's a lot, almost all these shirts you see behind us and the ones you don't see, she's folded. So that takes hours, days to do.
Yeah. And then like tearing down, making sure that we don't forget everything. Oh my gosh, guys, like it is a lot of work. And so like making sure all the shirts are folded. We have like a folding table. How many shirts are in here? Like thousands. Yeah.
And we sold
so much.
Thousands this past month too.
So, and then organizing everything by sizes, by different not colors, but just like kind of different merch drops that we've done.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot. So yeah, I want to talk about the behind the scenes in another video. We kind of did already.
Faith. We got a couple guest episodes coming up and a surprise season that's going to be coming up too.
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't even want to say it yet just because I don't know when it's going to come, but so much coming. But yeah, there's so much behind the scenes. But we really got to move on to a different question. I'm literally going to switch the camera right now, and we've only done one question. So.
Well, and I do want to say one more thing.
Okay.
So yeah, there's so much behind the scenes that people don't know about, but it kind of shows you like how social media is. It's like you 100%. see all the highlight reels, you see everything put together. That's like people. It's like you see their highlight reel, you see them with their either makeup on or on a trip. So it just shows like, do not look at all this stuff as an expectation of, oh my gosh, like they're doing this, it's so easy, or like comparing your life to theirs. I just think that it goes hand in hand. Like with social media can be very deceiving at times. There's so much work that goes into it. And with people, nobody wants to share the boring parts or the parts that aren't as glamorous. So we can switch.
You also, one last thing, you also don't see, you see us and you hear us talk about selling a bunch of merch and stuff. You don't see the risk that goes into buying 1,000 shirts. It's more than a new car at times. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I'll spend the money, watch it leave the account, and I'm like, gosh, dude, like,
hoping
that might never
praying.
come back, you know?
Yeah, every time we do a merch drop, he always says that.
And that's why that's why, like, people are like, bro, why don't you do this full time? I'm like, dude, you don't understand what goes into it. And I think social media really does a bad job of, especially when it comes to clothing brands, which this might be uninteresting to some of you, but if your algorithm has anything to do with clothing brands, you see all these kids jumping on thousands of orders, driving Lambos, all this stuff. It's all a bunch of baloney, bro. Like, I'm telling you, it's a bunch of cap. Like, it's not real, because we have a clothing brand that's doing very well, and there's no way I could do it as a full-time job ever. Like, if I ever did this Underbar Fly Zone as a full-time job, I would need to be having consistent speaking gigs that are not free volunteer speaking gigs. And there's a lot to it, which I do believe that could happen, because I believed that this can happen, and it happened. So if I believe that can happen, I know it can happen, but
takes time.
So I don't know why I said that. I kind of forgot why I said that. But anyways, we're going to switch this before we keep rambling. But yeah, just don't believe what you see on social media. That's kind of the whole point here.
Yeah, and don't compare your beginning to someone's, like, success story.
All right, I got it. All right, we're back. Let's get into the next one. What is your biggest piece of advice? Okay, we already did that. Best advice for college, did that. Mm-hmm. Valuable question for college. 3 words to describe. Practical advice for a teen couple who wants to get married.
We already did that.
Will there be other Okay, we actually did a lot of questions. We did more than 4 questions last time.
Oh.
Because this first page is done. All right, second page, and there's only 2 pages. So let's see what we can do here. It says, how did you guys meet? But I don't want to do that right now.
Okay, if you want to know how we met, look at our engagement story.
We'll tell it again if we have time in a little bit.
Okay, but our engagement podcast has everything, the behind the scenes, and it's awesome. We were on Cloud 9 that day.
That's the best podcast we've done, dude. We're engaged is the title of it. Mm-hmm. It's about almost 2 years old at this point. That's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, we just celebrated our 1 year of marriage.
All right, ready? What's a goal of yours to accomplish together?
Oh, definitely buying a house.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Having kiddos.
Yep. Buy a house, have kids. That's it.
That's our top goals and priorities.
Yeah.
Obviously, in that time though, Foster especially has been very much helping me, like, how to stay content with where we're at. Yeah. And that's a big thing. Like, it's awesome to have goals and to strive for something, but you also need to make sure that you're not rushing, because good things, like, it takes time for everything to work out. And I know that when you rush a decision without thinking about it, and you put your emotional being before, like, your mindset, if you know how you're feeling, then it will not end up well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. If you act on emotion, the emotion of
excitement,
wanting, just so excited to get a house, and then you buy a house, and then you're having to move out of the house because you can't afford it. Like, it's very important to move off of. What do I say? I say some good stuff when we're in private, and then I blank on the podcast. You never want to act on emotion. I feel like I've said this on a podcast before, literally word for word, but every bad decision I've ever made in my life was because I made a decision based on how I felt. And I made a decision based on emotion. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel this, so I'm going to act on. No, don't act on your feelings. Don't act on your emotions. Yeah. Act on thought out, no emotions, like strategic decision. And that's how it is for buying a house. So she's like talking to like realtors and stuff, and I'm at work, and I get home, and she's like, look at this house. I'm like, Macy, we gotta chill.
Yeah,
we gotta chill. And then but with kids though,
I feel
I'm starting to get on the other side where I'm like,
really?
I think you're the one that's like saying we need to chill. I feel like I'm at times the one where it's like, who cares, let's just do it.
Well, because I want a house first. I know what it's like with our dog in an apartment, and I just feel like, obviously, if we get pregnant, it's gonna be perfect timing. But if we could kind of like pick the timing, and God would be okay with it, it would probably be when we have a house. So I don't know when we're gonna have a house. I don't know when God's gonna bless us with kids, but we definitely want kids within the next year.
I want a kid within the next 24 hours, but I want to have no less than 5 kids, and I want we just said this on the way over. 3 kids, at least by the time she's 30 is my goal. And what, you're 23?
Yeah. So I want 3, honestly, 3 to 4, because then we can each have a kid on our shoulder.
I want 5 to 10.
We'll see. 10's
crazy. Let's do 5 to 8. 10's
no.
We would have no life if we had 10. I mean, we'd have the best life if we had 10, though.
Yeah,
actually.
we would, but we would be like honestly rubbing ourselves thin to the wire.
I don't know, because when I just said that, I felt like God say nope, like instantly. He's like,
if God
you
wants
got the
us to
best
have
life.
kids,
If you have 10 kids, that's
okay. We'll see.
It's
then.
That's just
that'd be big.
Big bucks.
Also, guys. Oh yeah, it would be expensive. So that's another thing. But it's like I always think to myself, like, okay, when we're old and like we're grandparents, you know, whenever, like, just imagine how family Christmases are, or like gathering the family up for a dinner and just seeing all of what you created and what they created. That is truly like the number one goal in life.
What would you rather have? We're sitting there at family Christmas when we're 65 years old, and we got the trophy from one that I got at Lee Summit, a bunch of stuff talking about how successful we were in our career. We got 2 kids and their grandkids there, and we're sitting around. Or would you rather have less success in a worldly way, but you got 10 kids with all their grandkids,
and you got generations?
Yes, generation. Yes, exactly.
I would definitely rather have that.
Yes.
And it is something we're rambling, but it's like,
that's what this is.
No, I agree. And it's like with the trenches, you're fighting through the trenches, obviously, like when you're having kids, it's gonna be tough, but then just looking at how it's gonna be like when you're retired, it's like that's truly like, it's everything's a season. Even like our dog, he's in the puppy phase right now, and I'm in the Bible, this too shall pass. This puppy phase won't pass.
Yeah.
But we'll tell you guys, honestly, yeah, when we get pregnant, I want to post a video saying like that we found out, and then surprising our family and friends. I don't know if we'll do a birth vlog.
I'll tell you this too, though, that I love that you want that, and I'm down if that's what you want, because your word is as important as mine. But I'll just tell you this: I've just been turned off by social media recently. Like, even doing you notice the podcast is not really, we're not posting a whole lot. There hasn't been any vlogs. There's recap posts on Instagram, but have you seen a reel from us recently that's not like a promotion? No. I don't know. I just like, we're going to Destin. We're going to Destin on Saturday. I'm not bringing any cameras. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, this phone, if you want to get a hold of me, you're not going to get a hold of me for a week. I'm just like, but like 3 years ago, I'd have been like, bro, we're vlogging this. We got to bring the camera, do all this. True. I'm so, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like growing up or something, but I just want to be in that moment. And honestly, when we do vlogs, I am in the moment. Mm-hmm. But I'm in the moment, but a part of that moment is trying to figure out a good angle to get.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm acting a certain way. I act the exact same no matter what. But it's like, I don't have to think about, I need to get this shot. We need to get this angle. That clip didn't turn out. Or it's like you're making a vlog and something crazy happens and you're like, dang it, I should have got that on video. Instead, we're just going to be there and something crazy happens. We're going to be like, yo, that was crazy. Mm-hmm. Not thinking, dang it, I wish we got that on video. And it's just going to be something less to think about. I'm just trying to go on this trip and have no stress.
That's so true.
Trying to chill. You know what I'm saying?
And have more of a simple life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you are getting more private the older you become.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I think about all the time. If you know me only through social media or only through Underwater Fly Zone, you don't know a lot about me. Like, last episode I told y'all what my job was. I recently decided, unless you watch that episode, you're not going to hear any more about my job, just because I don't care. Mm-hmm. like I don't know. It's not even that I want to be private. It's just that I don't care to have everybody
post it.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's another thing. So we'll see if we post anything.
anyways, well, at the same time, all that to be said, if you want a birth vlog and all that, and you want to make a video surprising me, do it, because I would love that.
I
it would
don't
be
want to
awesome.
surprise you. I want to find out together.
Well, if we find out together and you want to video it, I would love that.
Yeah.
It's a podcast, y'all, and we're rambling, and we have no real plan for this. So we're, McKenna Bleed, shout out Shop Maddie J. We did a podcast with her. She's who asked the last question. Shout out McKenna Bleed for this one. From Jason, what's the biggest piece? I haven't even read this. What's the biggest piece of marriage advice you'd give out?
Oh, these are good questions. Do you have yours?
Dude,
I have one.
I'm on the spot for that. I don't know.
I already know.
All right. I have a lot, but you go first.
So I know for me the biggest one, and it's because I make sure to look at our marriage and how has our marriage been on the good days, what made them the great days, and the bad days, why was it a bad day? And definitely a great marriage advice is to, when you say I do, you say that you are dying of yourself and you're living for that person. So whenever you live for yourself, you're dying to your marriage. And that means kind of, if you don't know what that means, so it's oh, I don't want to stay up late and fold shirts. I'm married to you. I'm going to do this because I know that it will help you out. Yeah. And it's sacrifice. Make sure that you sacrifice for your spouse and, put your own selfish desires down, your pride down, put that to death and to rest, and live for your husband and your spouse, because you guys are one body and one flesh now. So that'd be mine.
And I don't want to take July off and not do pop-ups every weekend. I want to travel everywhere and do a pop-up every weekend. But we gotta put time into the marriage. You know what I'm saying? I agree. You gotta block off time, because she's more of a resting type. I'm more of a
he gets anxious if he rests.
I get anxious if I rest. Yeah. So I have I already know August. I'm gone. August is gonna be busy. September is gonna be busy too. But then I'm gonna follow it up with October and November. Mm-hmm. Chill. June crazy busy. July nothing. Sorry, not happening. We might do one, not even a pop-up. We might do our El Dorado summer event that we always do. That's it. That's literally it. So you'll notice that, if you think back to April, we did the Northwest event, but we didn't really do any I don't know. There was a month back then. I can't remember what we did but there's always a month where we just chill, and then a month where we're on. So that's good. Yeah. When you say I do, you say I die. And
you got one?
Well, yours was a lot about sacrifice. You got to sacrifice your own wants. And also you have to, for me, I feel because I know you will sacrifice a lot. I have to make sure I'm okay, she's been sacrificing a lot. I need to protect you by sacrificing myself, because I know how selfless you are. I don't know if that makes sense.
Protecting my peace.
Yeah, I'm all right, Macy's so selfless. She'll come fold tonight, and I'll just tell you sometimes, I'm don't come. I got it. You chill. Mm-hmm. Or we're not doing that tonight. You're come on, let's just do it. No, we're not doing it tonight. You've been so selfless. Let's go watch America's Got Talent or something, But I would say most problems in a marriage are due to things that were poorly communicated.
That's true.
If that makes sense. So we'll have a disagreement, or we'll have a a conflict. Yeah. But if we just communicated in a different tone or in a different word what you're saying differently, we'd realize, oh, we actually are on the same page here. But since we're saying it in a combative way, or saying it in sometimes I get excited and I talk loud, and she's why are you yelling at me? I'm I'm not yelling, and I yell. I'm not yelling at her. So I don't know. You just gotta watch your tone and just, I don't know. And also always assume good intention.
Yeah.
I always assume that you're not trying to ruin my day. That's not what you're trying to do. So that also helps with communication. Just assuming that they're not trying to ruin your day. They just are struggling with communicate, or I don't know, but
that's true. And it's not one against one. It's we are one. So, it's not me against you. It's us against the enemy, you know, because we're Christian. And I was going to say something else, but no, that was good. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And also, in an argument, sometimes, even if you're right, it's like at the end of the day, if your spouse is hurting, it's like sometimes just put your pride away and just focus on like the love, you know? So it's like instead of always trying to be right, just focus on how can I love you more, and how can I maybe stop talking, and how can I listen to you even if you are correct, you know?
She's calling me out right there, because that's what I always do.
I don't know.
I'm always like, I don't know. I'm just always like trying to be right. And sometimes she's like, what do you say? You kind of what you said. You're like, can you just not be right and just hear me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yes.
But yeah.
And also I'm not always right, but I always like think I'm right. And then honestly, I am right most of the time.
Just gotta put that pride away.
All right, whatever. No, but that's funny, because when you were saying that, I was like, yeah, I know what she's talking about.
Well, we are imperfect.
Yeah, but okay. Also, this is not a question, but in our first year of marriage, I think we might have said this on the last episode, or we might have said this on the episode that we didn't post. Everyone said how, oh, that first year of marriage is so tough. I'm like, bro, that was the easiest year of my life, and we had a lot of difficult things happen in that year. Like we moved in. We might have talked about this on the last episode, but it was easy, dude. And it's really like, if you could just assume good intention, communicate well, sacrifice, keep God first, pray together. That's what is one thing y'all do weekly that builds y'all closer together? Shout out Street Warehouse. Ask that. Pray together.
Yeah, it's so simple.
Okay, I want to say that's daily, but we've not done
slacking.
it. Yeah, we've been slacking, but it's daily most of the time.
Yeah.
But it needs to be daily, even in the busy season. But
well, and something else, it's like our pastor said this about like becoming a Christian. It's the same way as like having a marriage. People think that it's rocket science, and it really is not. You know, it's like being a Christian. Oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if God's talking to me like this or if what. It's like, it's not rocket science. You have the Bible. And in our marriage, it's like God tells you exactly how to have a great marriage, all the fruits of the Spirit, and how to love your neighbor, how to love your spouse. So it's us, the humans, that make it hard, because obviously we are imperfect. But when you obviously put your own desires down to rest, that's when you can really live in what God has created and designed for your marriage.
Facts. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right, we're at 43 minutes. Okay. How do you build a relationship through God that will last?
Okay, so here's something that I learned.
Shout out Zach Sykes.
Okay, so this is something that I saw. So if you're not hearing from God, so God is always going to be there. It's you that has to put in the work. You know, it's like, why can't I hear God? Why does it feel like God is so distant? Well, have you been praying? Have you been talking to God? Have you been putting in that work? You know, God is everywhere. He's omnipresent. He's what was, is, and will always be. He is so huge, created the whole universe, but he literally whispers to us because he's still so close to us. But when we find ourselves like how to have this relationship with God, we need to put in that work. God is always going to be there. And I saw this on Instagram. It's like, God, I can hear you now. Or something about like how God's not going to knock and open the door. God's waiting for you patiently. He's not going to make you do anything that you don't want to do, because he gave us free will, which is amazing. But sometimes it can lead to danger and sin and evil, twisted things that we do as humans. But God's not going to make you do something that you don't want to do. So it's us that has to put in that work to have that relationship with God. Read the Bible, do things that's going to get in his presence, is what I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's also like, how did you build a relationship through God that will last? It's also like, Jesus died on the cross for our sins. Like, that should be enough right there, don't you think? Like, just believing that and knowing that, it's like,
It's not works. Works don't get you into heaven.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have a tough way of answering this, but okay. One thing I just want to say is Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell. This is kind of random, but check that guy out. That dude has been who I've been watching a lot lately, and he is like firing me up. And I'll just announce it right now, because why not? We are going to be filming a new podcast season titled Young People Love Jesus. Still thinking I might do Young People Love Christ, but it's the same thing, right? So because we're going to do a merch drop. On the back of the merch is going to say Young People Love Jesus. I just have always felt weird about putting Jesus' name on a shirt, so I might do Christ, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be awesome. You know what I'm saying?
We'll need to pray about it.
Yeah, I haven't prayed about it enough yet, but that's gonna be coming. And yeah, Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell's been firing me up, dude. And I feel like my brain is like fogging up right now because I keep getting texts. But
I miss too.
Yeah. So Zach Sykes, listen to what she said. And then what I say is just knowing that Jesus died for our sins. And there's also, this is why I need to know the Bible more, because there's a Bible verse that talks about hot or cold. You either be hot or cold, in or out, you know?
You're lukewarm.
Yeah. I feel like I rode the middle at times. It's like, yeah, I'm all in for Christ, but I still have this pride I'm dealing with over here that I don't want to like fully get rid of, you know? And Philip Anthony Mitchell has been like driving my brain into being like, you're in or out. You can't pick the middle, because if you pick the middle, you're out, you know? Because what does it say? Spit the lukewarm out of my mouth or something? I don't know. This is why I need to study the Bible.
I mean, I don't know either, but
it's just so, I don't know. The way he said it was so good. I'm going to get polished up for this season, though, because it's
yeah. Well, and that reminded me when you said lukewarm, like faith or a lukewarm Christian, you can't live for both God and this world.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what it means to be a lukewarm Christian. You're going out partying on the weekends, but then you are serving at a mission trip. It's like you cannot be both.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that we're not imperfect. We all struggle. But living in that sin and living in pride or guilt or shame or whatever is not good, that's called lukewarm, not making a mistake, messing up. It's called like actively living in it, knowing that that's wrong, but still doing it for your own selfish desires.
Yeah, you got Bible verse in your bio and then smoking weed on your first post, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Or like, you got Bible verse in your bio and then you flexing money and doing all this prideful, self-fulfilling, worldly stuff. But I don't know, dude. I don't want to throw no shots.
There's so much we could talk about.
Let's we actually are getting close to wrapping this up, so I think we got one more.
Okay.
What or how did it affect / not affect your relationship when you guys started working together?
Oh, did we not answer that in the last one?
No, but I remember.
I thought we did.
I guarantee we didn't.
Okay.
Because what I would say is, we don't technically work together. like we
him.
Work on. Bro, no, not like that. We both have our own jobs that we do outside of this. I think a lot of people through social media lens, since we don't talk about our private lives that much, they think we do this full time. We really don't. I mean, we do this on pretty much all of our free time.
No, yeah.
But we both, like, she's a teacher, I do my job, and we come together after work and fold shirts till like 9 o'clock at night. And how did it affect us? If anything, it just gives us more purpose, more
time together.
Yeah,
because honestly, in our real life jobs, not just this job that like we're working together, which I don't even think this is a job.
Yeah, this is not a job.
But our actual jobs, how that affected us, it honestly did. Like when we would go to work in the morning, wouldn't see each other, and then after work we were so exhausted and tired. That is something to get used to when you first get married. But it was a season, and now we're getting into a routine, and everything will work out. So that was kind of a struggle at first, making sure that we spend more intentional time together.
Yeah.
You know, especially since we have our dog, that made me rethink more about like, okay, when we have kids, we need to make sure we're extra intentional about spending dates or like going on walks together so we can reconnect in our marriage. But this doesn't seem like a job, honestly, and I love it. So
this is a blessing.
It is.
The fact we could ship orders. Like we just shipped an order to South Carolina with like 2 hoodies in it, a shirt, a bunch of stickers, and it's like, gosh, this is not a job. This is 100% a blessing. Every time we get an order that we get to pack, it's like, thank you, God. Like, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. The fact we even get to ship this order is a blessing, you know? So this is not a job. It takes a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. But what else would we rather be doing with our life? Like, I'd rather be doing nothing else.
Well, and, I mean, even in heaven, you're going to work. So it's like, if you're doing work down here.
What do you mean in heaven you're going to work?
Well, we're all going to, like, in the Bible it says, like, you're going to have, like, work in heaven. It's just a different kind of work. But, like, obviously good.
Yeah, I'll have to study that
work
more.
For God. I've never been to heaven, so I can't tell you what it is. But it's like down here on earth, this kind of work, would you rather be doing it? And I'm not going to say an office job is not glorifying God, but it depends how you do it. True. So it's not really what you do, it's how you're doing your job. You can, and I told Foster this, like, there's tons of amazing teachers out there that do this not for the money but for impacting kids. There's tons of terrible teachers out there.
Yeah, well, if a teacher does it for the money, they should be doing something else.
Yeah. So it really is not about what you're doing, it's how you are doing it. And so with this, it is in a way a job, but we're doing this to impact lives, and we believe that God has blessed this. So it's rewarding work.
Yeah, and that's so true. Like, some people, this is just something I heard the other day. It's like, we're always waiting for something big to start having God work through us. Like, we're waiting for, like, oh, when this happens one day, I'm going to really start sharing the gospel and making an impact. Like, that's how I even think as well. I'm like, one day when I'm getting these big events, when I'm doing this full time,
this much.
Yes, that's when I'll be going all in. But it's like, God wants to use you at your office job. Mm-hmm. God wants to use you on the construction site. God wants to use you in the classroom, sitting next to whoever, you know, and it's not sitting there like, it's not always, let me tell you about Jesus. Sometimes it's, let me pick this pencil up for you.
Yeah.
Or let me, let me help you dig that hole or something random like that, you know?
No, and that also made me think, I feel like we're bouncing ideas off of each other.
It's all good. We have no questions left, and we got time.
Well, so it made me think, it was like, it doesn't have to, it's like how you act and how you live, like, will show people so much more than what you say. You know, it's like actions speak louder than words. Yeah. So you can say all this stuff about God and how you glorify him and all that stuff, but then if you're like flipping someone off on the highway because you have road rage, that's going to show more than what words ever will. So sometimes you don't need to do, and if God wants you to do the uncomfortable and share your testimony to a stranger, you can, but that's not the only way that you're going to be a great Christian. Sometimes it's okay. It's the line's backed up, maybe in a grocery aisle, and people are irritated, and you still have a smile on your face and say hey to the cashier, and just your brightness. It's that light, being the light in the darkness. For sure. I'm going to switch the camera because I think we should keep going a little longer. All right, we're going to wrap this up here pretty soon, but I feel like we're just talking about some good stuff, so let's keep it going for a little longer. Just something I thought of, it's like, if our as Christians is to bring more people to Christ, Jesus says, go out and make disciples of all nations, I think. If our goal really is to make disciples, the best way to do that is not by being nasty at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would someone want to become Christian if all they see is Christians being not good people, you know? So it really is the little things. It really is the little things. So think about that when you're driving on the highway with the cross sticker on the back of your car as you road rage out on somebody because they cut you off. Are you going to lead that person to Christ, or are you going to demonstrate patience in that moment? Let them cut you off, keep the smile on your face, and move on with the day, you know? Or are you going to road rage at them, and then the atheist behind you is like, oh, these Christians are, gosh, these Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something to think about. That's so true. And it's like, you never know who's watching.
That's true.
You know? So, especially being like a middle school teacher, God has really taught me this. It's like I want my kids to see me in a way that is a leader. And if I'm out in public, and a lot of teachers get this, it's like students, you see your students everywhere. It's like you're held accountable. And so as a Christian, you're held accountable. It's a great thing, and it can be hard, but people are watching you wherever you go. So make sure that you represent Christ well. Obviously, we're imperfect. We're going to do it wrong, but asking God for forgiveness and letting God in your heart and say, God, please fix the spots in me that are selfish and prideful and filled with anger and resentment. Please fix that. And I know that God will work a miracle within you because he has within us.
I got something to say. I personally have led a couple people to Christ, probably a lot of people to Christ, honestly. And I've never led someone to Christ by sitting down and talking to them about God. Never once. I've led a lot of people to God, but never by sitting down and talking to them about it. It's always someone coming up to me saying, man, I just see the way you live. I see the way you interact with people. I see what you do and what you post and how you carry yourself. And because of the way you live, I got interested and I started reading the Bible. And I love Jesus now. And I'm just like, no way, man. Like, let me tell you. Then it's like, let me tell you the gospel. Let me tell you about how Jesus died for your sins. And then we have that conversation. But it's never been by me approaching someone and being like, yo, you want to hear about Jesus? That's never been how I brought someone to God. But I brought quite a few people to God. All glory to God for that. But it's always just people coming up to me saying, I see the way you live. And I was curious. And I read the Bible, started studying, started listening to sermons or whatnot. And they're like, man, I love God. Like, people have turned from the darkness to the light because they saw the way that I was living. And that's just a message to anybody watching. Like, really watch the way you live because you never know the impact that you'll make on somebody. And most of those people that I, quote unquote, led to Jesus was before I had any platform or any podcast or anything like that. It was back, 20 years old before the Underwater Fly Zone existed, or before the Underwater Fly Zone was anything. It was back in those days with no platform. So like, don't look at me and be like, oh yeah, that's cool that he did that. I did that when I didn't have any sort of platform. I was just like a normal college kid,
Yeah.
So think about that, y'all. It's something to really consider. You really got to watch the way you interact with people because you getting mad and getting yourself into a road rage incident, you getting upset with somebody at the store and interacting in a negative way, or you picking a fight with somebody because they're being rude to you, so you intervene and then it gets all crazy. You doing that could cost somebody their life eternally because they see you as a Christian acting out, and then now they're so turned off from Christianity that they'll never be curious. But instead, if you, like I said a little bit ago, if you get in that road rage incident and you show peace, like you demonstrate godliness in that moment, they might be curious. You could plant a seed just by your actions.
That's good.
Let's do a podcast episode about that one day. But it's an hour in, and I'm trying to.
There's so much that we could talk about, but we should probably save it for a different day.
Yes, we should. And I'm so distracted. But I think this is fire. I want to get the arms back. I don't like holding these.
I do.
You do? Okay, then maybe we'll keep holding them.
I don't care.
I just feel like it'd be cool to just talk into it like the old days.
For sure.
All right, love you guys. Q&A is done, and we actually got through it, so that's cool. We got a lot more podcasts coming, but we're going on vacation, and you will not be hearing from us for at least a week. And then when we get back, it's grind time online, but no pop-ups for a little bit. So, but then when we get back to doing pop-ups, August 9th, we're doing a trip to Dallas, Texas, our third trip there. This time it's 2 events, 1 day in Dallas, Texas. Going to be crazy. I think we're going to try to get up to Des Moines, Iowa for an event up there. I've really been trying to get into this event. They haven't been hitting me back. Hopefully they do hit back, or else it's their loss at the end of the day. And then we'll just keep going from there. So love you guys. Hope you enjoyed this.
If you watched this video till the very end, drop a blue heart comment. And if you do, I will DM you personally with a sweet message. Hold me accountable.
She probably will too.
Mm-hmm.
A blue heart.
For a sweet message from Macy.
That's awesome. Watch there be like 20,000 blue
I hope
hearts.
so.
That'd be crazy. Just start copying and pasting messages.
No, I would not do that.
But all right, guys. Love you guys. We'll give out a new promo code for free shipping for podcast listeners soon. But I think the old promo code season 6 SZN number 6. So SZN all caps number 6 season 6 should get you free shipping on the website if you want any merch. If it doesn't, there'll be a new code soon. But we'll talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Peace out.